أشهد أن لا أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Respected audience and my dear speakers, Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "Nobody has ever eaten a better meal than that which one has earned by working with one's own hands." The Prophet of Allah, David, used to eat from the earnings of his manual labor. Jamiatul Tirmidhi, Volume 1, Book 12, Hadith 1209. My dear friends, today I will be talking about the goals, mission, and our vision about Department Sanat-O-Tijarat, Jamaat-e-Ahmadiyya, Australia. In our goals, we will be having to promote trade and business, facilitate in empowering employment rate, facilitate in establishing contacts between various businessmen, trades, and professionals, provide a platform for the sharing of knowledge and guidance in various fields, encourage and support entrepreneurial skills, encourage and groom our youth to engage in higher education in order to become industrial leaders. Our mission is, at National Sanat-O-Tijarat, we concentrate on creating economic opportunities for every member of the workforce by connecting professionals to make them more productive and successful, and to reinvent how people share knowledge, tell stories, and inspire their audience to act. Our mission is to mentor and inspire the most vulnerable and isolated youths in attaining higher education in order that one day they might lead their respective industries. In doing so, we provide frequent guidance and timely scholarships and financial aid to all deserving students. We understand the importance of educating the youth of our future. Our goal is to help them obtain an education that will give them knowledge, skills for improving their lives. Our vision in 23 and beyond. As you know that Sanat-O-Tijarat is a key function for our Jamaat in enlightening the business and trade portions for our members. The overall mission of Sanat-O-Tijarat is fairly extensive and quite broad in demarcation, numerous outstanding and key areas. Like LinkedIn group, in this group, we will be assisting, provides common professional networking from our Ahmadi professionals across various occupations, technology, healthcare, law, business. Allows valuable discussions and meaningful interactions for the benefit of entire Ahmadi community, sort of like directory of all Ahmadi professionals. Innovative leadership. National Sanat-O-Tijarat Department initiatives, 2 steps to our initiatives around entrepreneurship. First one is inspire and second is connect. In inspire, we want to provide inspiration, mentorship, example for our members to follow and show them what is truly possible. In connect, we want to connect our members interested in entrepreneurship with resources and mentors to help guide them as they establish their initiatives. Annual Sanat-O-Tijarat Summit. To allow sufficient time for preparation, we are planning to hold an annual summit next year, sometime in May or June 2024. Mentorship program. National Sanat-O-Tijarat Department has determined a critical and immediate need to bring a mentoring program to the forefront of all our programs. This is especially geared towards the youth constituency, professionals and new immigrants who lack guidance, support, expertise and focus through their own environment. We have recognized that most of our new immigrant families do not possess the academic wherewithal to guide their children in acquiring higher education for a far better outcome. They remain content of the child gets some basic education and encourages them to begin a menial job to earn some income. The mandate of this department is to meet the needs of community members seeking business and professionals insight. The department comprises of individual business leaders, organizations, and enterprises joining together to advance commercial, financial, and civic interests of the community. Dear friends, Department of Sanat-O-Tijarat aims to be the go-to platform for professionals across Australia to share insights, knowledge, and opportunities. We are committed to fostering a community that thrives on collaboration and mutual growth. Our services range from mentorship program to skill building workshops, all designed to meet the unique needs of the Australian job market and industry standards. Ethical practices are at the core of our mission. We encourage transparency and fair trade, aligning with Australian business ethics and regulations. I would like to welcome again to all in our seminar to discuss the education and job opportunities in EHK facility and disability sector, which is at the moment in very, very high demand. Today we have 3 industry experts. In fact, my dear friend Livingston as well, he is also a counselor, a social worker, a person who always ready to help and support any community. Doesn't matter which community calls, he always be there. Thank you very much, Livingston. And I appreciate Bhagya Livingston as well. She's also here today. She will also be speaking and explaining about the importance of ethics, about the education, how you can establish a business, how you can get into either the workforce or into the business, especially in community and healthcare sector. I wish you all good luck and bright future, and Department Sanat-O-Tijarat always looking forward to assist you, looking forward for your support and for your if you need any guidance, we are happy to support you. Thank you very much. Now I would like to invite Mr. Mohammed Dugli. He is a social worker, a trainer, a community leader since last over 17 years. He will be talking on education opportunities.
Was the IT man?
Yeah, it's
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I thank you very much for the opportunity to be here, and I'm very grateful being here to share with you some very important information that we really benefited from for the past 17 years. So today, I'm just going to speak on a little bit about the community services industry. I'll be telling you what does the industry cover. I'll be telling you some work opportunities and the different aspects of the industry. Then I will wait on for a few questions and answers if there's opportunity for that. As Dr. Noor said, my name is Mohammed Dukle. I've been a social worker. I've been working nearly over 17 years. And I came in this country the very early part of 2005. I came in here as a refugee from West Africa. And before coming over here, I studied to be a classroom teacher. When I came here, during that time, I could not go back to class to teach. There was a lot of opportunity to work in the community sector, so it was easier for me to move in that direction than going to teach. I ended up becoming a community worker and studied to become social worker later. Community services, we cover majorly. Our work focuses on supporting services, or providing direct services to individuals, families, communities, and groups, generally. Now, how do you provide that service? Whether you're going to be indirect in terms of advocacy, in terms of policy development, or whether you're going to be a direct service in terms of education, community development, counseling, individual work, mental health, or it's going to be disability work. Whatever you do, we work with these people. Our work is to work with human beings to make them better. Now, briefly, I only have 4 slides. After this, just 2 more. There are many career pathways in community services. But before then, forget about career pathway. Look at the kind of client we work with, the client area. The kind of people we work with, as you said, it can range from family services down to child protection. Anything to do with making a society and individuals better in this country, it covers community services. Range of things, there's no limit where you can work. Now, on the other hand, the career pathway, you could be community development officer, you could be child protection officer, you could be a case worker, you could be a counselor, you could be a counselor in the mosque, you could be a social worker in your own community. In short, anything to do with helping human beings to become better. This is just a brief about the different opportunities that are existing in the community services. But the interesting thing that people need to know, those who are not in the industry, is this. How do you get there? Where to start? Very easy to start and with very large benefit. You could start as a community services person just as a volunteer. So let's say, for example, you belong to this community. Everything you do here is part of the skills and knowledge you are acquiring that can help you to become a good community worker later. You see from most of the migrants that are now social workers, you ask them, they started working for their own communities. The way if you are part of the mosque committee, you are part of the support committee, your local committee, this, that. Everything you learn there from establishing, from conducting meetings, from encouraging people to do something, from talking between men and a married couple, from encouraging the children. Everything you do as a volunteer is all part of this, the process of you becoming a good community worker if you want to go further. So easy to start as a volunteer. Now, if you're someone who got a passion, you want to get into it beyond the volunteer level, you can get into studying basic Certificate 3 community services. And that Certificate 3 can make you become a support worker. Certificate 3 can make you become a case worker. Certificate 3 can make you to become, you can work in a nursing home. Certificate 3 can make you, many work you can do just from studying Certificate 3. Very minimal requirement. Because the understanding is, most of the knowledge, skill, and attitude required for what you're supposed to do, they come naturally to many people. The difference there is they professionalize it in terms of adding the ethic, the legal framework, and the way you do it in such a way that you don't harm yourself and you don't harm the other person. So entrance is Certificate 3. Now you could go on. You say, okay, I've done Certificate 3. I'm working in an aged care, doing child care work. I work in a residential area. I want to improve. Then you enroll to do a diploma in community services. That gave you another additional opportunity. You can become, with your diploma, you can work in the NDIS sector. You could become a case coordinator. You could, many things you can do with that. Now, even if you want to continue to go to university to study community services or social work, there's a possibility you have a whole year off from what you do. And remember, there are services around now, even if you have a degree in another subject, you were engineer, for example, in your country, and your qualification is recognized, you can jump straight with your experience working with your community. You can move straight to do master's social work qualifying degree. Automatically, within 4 years, you can become a social worker just by your first degree you have. So a lot of opportunity in the area. So it depends what you want to do. Now, apart from that, some of the benefit we can get working, a reason why you should work in this sector is that you're going to be contributing positively to humankind. It's like you're going to be doing the work the Prophet loved doing. Everything Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam did in the Ummah as a leader, as a community development person, that's some similar thing you're going to be doing, helping people to become better. And you know what it means when you help people become better, you yourself, you get the benefit immediately. Now, another important thing is you get one qualification, thousands of jobs to do with one qualification. Now, I don't have to go through all of this, but two other important things. One, very flexible. Community services is one of the only areas that work 24/7. You can get a job, you can do 2 shifts. You can get a job you want to work on a weekend. You can get a job you want to work on at night. Everything available for you. And finally, if you are a community worker, you are helping yourself. Because every day you interact with people, you make yourself better and go forward. I don't want to take most of your time. I will stop here so far. I say thank you very much. If there's a room for question and answer, I'm happy to do that. Thank you.
If any one of you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Or online viewers as well, they can type their question in chat, in live chat. We can ask Dukli any question. Dukli, I have one question.
Yes.
Like the community sector is in demand at the moment because of various reasons. One is the aging population is growing. The second is because of NDIS thing as well. What is the minimum qualification, or do they need to have any qualification, or without qualification they can join, they can start working in aged care sector or disability sector?
Thank you for that question. Very important. And I'm going to reinforce that the sector, the job is a lot of jobs there. A lot of jobs, a lot of demand for workers at the moment. To join the NDIS sector or aged care sector, the minimum requirement you have is Certificate 3. Minimum requirement, Certificate 3. Now, for some people, even to do that Certificate 3, very simple for you. Some people can have a recognition of prior learning based on your experience, your volunteer experience you've had. Some of the units you can have that recognized, depending on the place you go to study. So minimum Certificate 3 that you need to go. So this is why it's important for some people who already have other qualifications before and they don't want to work in that industry. It's so easy to switch to community services. Very easy for you. Now, another very important information, Certificate 3 in some other areas, you do it for free. Isn't it, Doctor?
Yeah,
there's a program.
The government-funded courses anywhere in your state. Doesn't matter in which state you are in, New South Wales, Victoria, Perth. So you need to contact first TAFE, or maybe there are a few RTOs who may have got approved to offer funded courses. Yes.
Yes, and this is where Dr. Nuru comes in handy. When you reach out to him, he show you what sort of RTO is doing that free. You do it, and right after that, you get a job immediately. Especially if you're someone who has a very good ethic, it will be additional boost for you.
And what is the duration and other stuff?
Now, Certificate 3, it could go for some people for 1 year. Full-time could go for 1 year. Or you study based on your time, depending on the way the course is organized and the RTO you're going to be in. But nothing is there difficult. The fact that most of the content are natural for you, very natural. For example, content about how do you communicate with someone? How do you communicate with respect? How do you deal with diversity? That when somebody here and somebody there, how do you not treat them like one person is animal, one person is human? These are things that are very natural to you as a Muslim already. So going into community services will be a natural pathway to getting the best out of our lives. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
So is that only Certificate 3 or any other things? Like if they're going for aged care or disability, so for disability and aged care is the same qualification?
Yeah, disability, aged care, to my understanding, is the same minimum. I said minimum. Now you can go on top of that, you can do diploma, you can go up to do your degree, but minimum you need is Certificate 3 to get into. Yeah, even the aged care, or even the child care, now the policy changed, you have to have diploma. But many places, if you are enrolled while you're studying, you also can be qualified to work.
Oh, thanks for bringing the child care as well. So
Yeah.
some of the people may be interested in childcare, and childcare is also good demand, right?
Good demand, and in fact, the government new policy in New South Wales now that they're doing a trial project for 2 years. If you don't have a house before, you never bought a house before, and you're working, and if your partner is working in the child care, automatically you're gonna be eligible for that government funding, where you go for a house, the government invests in a house with you, government has percentage, you have a percentage. One of the industry that is listed is childcare. Whether you working there or your wife is working there, then you can be eligible for that. That trial is going on now. It's going to be for 2 years. After 2 years, they're going to either expand it or not. But great opportunity for all of us.
Thank you.
And every day there's jobs opportunity for childcare. Imagine you work in a childcare sector. There's not many men working there, and they're looking for many men, and many sisters can do it as well. You help a child to come up. You put good adab in them. Imagine the Sanat-O-Tijarat for you in that sector. If you think about it that way, you're getting two rewards. You do your reward, you get your dunya reward, and the Sanat-O-Tijarat aspect of it is very rewarding. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brother Dukri. I just got a question regarding transition of career. As you mentioned that a lot of migrant is being participating in NDIS and aged care work. So what is your experience, like someone, like to change their career, maybe in a midway, or maybe they want to have this path. It's a sort of path where people really love it because that's sort of our community bound on that. So what is your thought on that?
Yeah, thank you very much for that. When we were running a program 9 years ago. They called it refugee employment mentoring project, where most of the refugees who came who have qualifications overseas and they came here, they wanted to get in the sector, either in the work they were doing before or they wanted to change. One thing we realized is that it's very easy. Let's say you're working as an engineer before, and we have a lot of them in the sector now as social worker. You want to switch to become a social worker, community worker. The good thing is, when you go to study, you don't have two choices. One, you can go to do master's degree straight ahead, social work master's degree qualifying. Is a course that was developed about 10 years ago, and is still moving in so many universities. With your Bachelor of Science Engineering degree and your community services experience as a volunteer in your community and your human interactions, you can go, you do what they call recognition of prior learning. They assess your experience and the qualification you recognize, and you want to become a community worker. That's a very easy thing. You can join online course. Certificate 3 can be done online, or Certificate 3 can be done face-to-face, where you work, you go to school in a day, and at night you go driving, you do your work. And some people can do theirs for 6 months, some people 1 year. Before you know it, you are. Now, if you can't do any of those things at all, you don't have a way to study, you can volunteer. You can look for any migrant resource center, you volunteer there. Or your own community organization, you can be one of those volunteers to work in there. The only thing they need for you to do so that you can be on payroll is that the organization can apply for funding to work, or the organization can sponsor their own, or can provide their own funding. You can work with them. You need to do your police check, you're working with children check, so that they should be professional. In case any legality comes, you have the better orientation what to do. You can work with your own organization. Like, for example, the committee Dr. Nuri is heading. You can come and say you want to change your career. They give you orientation, you work, and probably you earn income. Is that possible? You earn income for that if you don't know what it is. But some community organizations start like that. In our communities, there are many little organizations where the people there, they got funding, they actually employ their own people to work for them. Now, one other thing that I jumped over, I didn't mention, is that the language we have. For those who have Arabic, Farsi, and Persian language, anything that has to do with migrant and refugees here, your language itself is a capital for you. You can work in any government department. But again, you have to be literate. You have to at least have a minimum qualification to do it. Thank you. I hope I answered your question.
Thanks very much.
One more question for you. My question is about skill qualifications. There are some institutes who can give you certification based on your experience, like Qualify Me is an example. Is that legit? Say, I think he means that if you don't
recognition
have,
of prior learning.
yeah, but if you don't have any previous experience, but still you are getting like some RTOs they offer.
that question a little bit tricky because sometimes you think you don't have prior experience, but you have a lot. You need to sit with the professional who will speak to you. Sometimes you think you don't have prior experience. Let's say, let's talk about, let's say this brother is an imam in this place, and the brother wants to want to have a qualification, diploma in community services, but he wants for his prior experience to be recognized. Then the imam say, no, I don't have any experience in that area. Then if he's talking to me, I'm assessing his skill. I will put the skills down step by step. I will divide the skills into 3 parts. One is engagement, another one is assessment, another one is intervention. I will tell the imam here, have you ever engaged your communities, address them, speak to them, encourage them to come to a program and they attended? Yes. How many times you did that? So many times. How did you get them to come? Oh, I talked to them this way, I put it this way. All what the imam is saying, these are the skills that you take, that the person has actually done it, he has an experience in it. The imam has given khutbah, he has inspired people to do something. The imam has organized a meeting, he has sat over the meeting. Whether it was a marriage ceremony, it was a dispute resolution session, he sat there, he dealt with multiple people, diverse view, diverse background, etc. These all can be counted. So you can't be hard on yourself to say you don't have the experience. Get to the professionals, let them assess you first before you can conclude that you don't have the experience or not. That's one part. The last part to answering the question is this. There are a lot of RTOs or organizations here. It's legitimate, it's acceptable in this country, where you come, you apply for your formal experience or formal knowledge to be recognized that can lead you to getting a qualification. That is well recognized here. You can get certificate 3 or you can get diploma. I know some of them, Dr. Nuru know some of them, and that can be ticked, that experience that are relevant to the skill set needed for the qualification. So I stop there so far. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Lord.
Any other question?
Anyone have any question? Want to ask any question? Okay then. Thank you.
I stop there so far. Thank you very much.
Your
Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My ASB.
Now I would like to invite Brother Bakhar Manase Sahab. He will be talking on business opportunities. He is having experience. He is an experienced business analyst, and he's assisting lots of businesses in their growth. And he also working as a chief financial officer for one of the organization. Brother Bakhar Manase Sahab.
वो इस पे है أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Respected audience, chairperson and my colleagues. Today I've been requested to talk about my experience in the Department of National Disability Insurance Agency or Scheme. So it is people see it as an opportunity to become as a businessman into this, and at the same time what we have just heard, serving community. So in this profession you will open up your own, become a provider for National Disability Insurance Scheme, and you can look after people, you can keep serving humanity. So how can you do that? What is National Disability Insurance Scheme? National Disability Insurance Scheme is run by the National Disability Insurance Agency, which started in 1st July 2013, this nearly 10 years ago. So they had their transition and their trials and reporting and code of conduct, safety practices to be established, and that formality officially enrolled out in 2020, 1st July 2020. Brief introduction of NDIS is that, as you can see, that is in this scheme we look after people who are less fortunate, people who need help. It's like I'm going to put it for your easy understanding. A person who cannot live a normal life, we try to make sure in this industry to provide those services that facilitate them to pass or live a normal life, to become, create their capacity to become independent, create skill in them so they can handle and they can face challenges of their life. So this is very, very vibrant industry, and this is moving towards leaps and bounds. I encourage members who are listening to me today, please do ear to this, and if you have any questions at the end, I will love to answer. Highlight the importance of NDS providers. NDS providers play a crucial role in delivering the range of services as I mentioned in brief. Not just in community, we are overall across Australia. There are different communities because we live in a multicultural area. So whether it's their language, whether their culture, their religious, everything becomes part of within the sector of NDIS. And that is called, when it is related to their beliefs and getting their outing needs to be done, that can be covered in social community and participation. Looking after in the house, that is their daily needs, and then looking after their physically disability, that can be covered under OT, physiotherapy, and other medical professions or therapies. So what you need to do, you need to start with any business. It's that you start with your own ABN, or you start establish a company, you start as an NGO. It's up to you how you would like to start. And the basic principle is that you go to ASIC, you create your company, and then you follow that process. But in NDIS, when you create your own company and you get registered, you register with PRODA, which is PRODA Services, which is an online tool for the providers to get connected, and accounting dealing, information, finding the best practices. So you get access to a lot of things when you become a provider. Submit an application. You can submit an application. There is a process. You need to understand what service you're going to be providing. That service is basically listened. So submitting your NDIS registration application online on the NDIS Commission portal within 60 days of commencement, and receive an initial scope of audit. There are 2 audits sometimes. There are 1 audit only. If you are a small company, then sometimes there are 2 audits, sometimes there are 3 audits, depending on the scope of your business. And if you are taking high risk, complex needs, mental patient, then it takes more paperwork, more work. You need to have more compliance and code of practices to be established within your company, and that will be audited by the NDIS. So documentation needs to be complete, like I mentioned to you. There are 2 stages at times. 1 stage is document review. 2nd stage is face-to-face discussion, why you want to become a provider. There's a formal interview for you which happens. In all these instances, it's if your scope and work ethics and your team is ready, your compliance is ready, you know what you want to do. You need the clarity, they need the transparency, they need you to understand what you're going to do, because you're going to be dealing with human beings. So these human beings are not easy to tackle with. It's not something you come across. You live a normal life, so you need to understand when you're going to start an NDS company, whether you have got that passion, number one, and do you have that patience to face those difficult challenges which come across at times when you are in the field, when you find out somebody's not well and he's having seizure or he's having issues, and that support worker there can't handle it. So what steps you're going to have in place, who is your call, how you have trained your workers. So a lot of things make a good, play a part on this. Becoming an NDIS provider, there are nearly 500,000 people at the moment who are linked to National Disability Insurance Scheme. And alone 80,000 are children. So you can imagine it's a growing industry and a lot of skill. There is a shortage of quality. And I encourage you to please look into this. It's a great industry to be in. I already mentioned about providers can register with NDIS Quality and Safeguard Commission and to get registered. Or I will talk about unregistered providers as well, but we'll just focus on provider. So basically, provider who are registered, we'll talk about their benefits, why you want to become registered. So if you want to get registered, you will get an access to NDI managed participants, number one. You'll become a trusted provider, because not anyone or anybody can become a provider. It's not that easy. So people can start trusting you. Yeah, this is a registered provider. They know you have gone through the audit, and they know that you know the practice. You understand the value. And you understand your responsibility. The quality of the service improves relatively to the higher standards, because now you need to follow a plan, and you can provide any type of service, including in the support categories. There are different supports. I'll talk about them later on at the end, how another few supports work. You can provide a service. So imagine you live in a home yourself. So somebody's living in the house. That's service they need. They need to go outside. That is a service they need. Then they go to doctors, that service they need. Then they go to physiotherapy. Then they need to go out to play, watch something, go to cinema, or go to some sort of activity or group activities. They want to go on an outing. So all these things, as a normal human being, what we want to pass our life as or live our life as, that is how individuals who are related or a participant in NDIS want to live their life as well. So registered providers become visible in their provider finder portal, which is again on NDIS website. It's a great website, and they're changing every day, and it's improving every now and then as well. Another thing I would like to mention, which is important, that they have increased their age from 0 to 9 now. So 0 to 9 is early childhood intervention, which is children with disability. They find their disability and they try to address it at between 0 to 9. So an age from NDIS now is 9 to 65, which is recently changed in February. Another thing I would like to mention is accessing online business system through the My Place Provider portal that I mentioned, which is PRODA. Advantages being a registered provider, as I mentioned, a lot of paperwork, compliance, a lot of reporting. The challenge with reporting is that you find a good support worker, if he can't write a report that how he has done his service or how he has provided the service, then that is not a complete service. You cannot say the good service has provided, because noting down the important information of a participant, how the date went past, how he felt, what he did, and how he's feeling comfortable, whether he's comfortable, not comfortable, has he taken his medicine, not taken the medicine, meal on time, was he sleeping, was he not sleeping, what kind of feelings he were having. So these are the things, creates a lot of reporting. And also if you create any negligency as a registered provider, you can face legal battles and as well. So you need to be careful of your actions, and that's why reporting is plays a crucial part. Training reporting plays a crucial part in running a business in NDIS. I've already talked about this. As I already mentioned, that starting a new application in provider portal, select an approved quality auditor that you can select yourself as well. Undergo an audit, that's third step, and the fourth step is, that's just a reminder, NDIS Commission and Safeguard Commission, Quality and Safeguard Commission makes that call whether you will be given that decision that you can become a provider. There are unregistered providers as well, but they can only, the scope of work is very limited. People will see them, if you look at the advantages of registered provider, that become disadvantage of this unregistered provider. Yes, it's an easy point of entry. You can feel that whether you will be able to provide the service, whether you will be able to face those challenges of this industry. So you can do it. No license or audit fees is required in this, because you don't need to go through an audit in that. You can have direct relationship with the participants where they need service, but they are again limited. You can only do transportation, maybe do cleaning, maybe do small services. You won't be able to look after a participant with high needs or complex needs, or participant who are have a challenging behavior. So you can offer your services on lower prices. People will happy to take your services and manage cash flows in that regard. But this is another thing which can be a part-time role for you if you want to perform. Now, I would like to mention here, and I have already on a table, I have put through what is NDIS works, how you go on board to NDIS, who needs NDIS, who doesn't need NDIS, and what is the age, and what are the processes, how you will get to the plan. So first, there's identification process. How that starts, a doctor say that you need help, and then you go to, they are the one who will highlight whether you need that extra care or help. And then you go to a specialist. Then you go to, after all doing that, you go to an LSC. The process goes to meet an LSC. You make an appointment with an LSC. LSC means is local area health coordinator. And across Sydney, there are in each area, in each council, there are local area health coordinators. They are the ones who will help you with your application. They are the ones who's going to talk about your plan. They are the one who's going to find you a right provider, and they are the one who's going to help you get through this journey. So local area health coordinator, plus we also have at the moment support coordinator who also help, who coordinates between the NDIS and the participant. That is going to be in maybe coming years going to be slowly evaporate, and only local area health coordinator will be left. So our point of contact should be local area health coordinator. There are some points I want to also mention, which I have made note for you with regards to eligibility criteria, which is not just for becoming a NDIS provider, but eligibility, whether that person can also be eligible to take NDIS. So eligibility criteria we have already spoke about. Individual organization must meet specific requirements related to qualification. Obviously, brother earlier on mentioned about qualification. and what qualification he needs. So those qualifications are needed for the sport worker, the organization, and those experience needs to be shared. Types of support. I'll come to the types of support now. The types of supports are basically daily. First of all, is daily living, in daily life, what you need support. Then you have therapies, which are capacity building, comes under capacity building, different therapies, occupational therapy, physiotherapy, chiropractic. So these are the therapies you might need or to become more independent. Secondly, daily life or daily activities cover cell. Cell is basically you are looking after a participant, which is 24-hour care, and that is supported independent living means that somebody will go into the house. There are certain houses, they don't live in their own houses. They live in a accommodation, which can be a group home, can be people living, 3 people living, looked after by 1 person or 2 people or 3 people, depending on whether it's one-to-one. One-to-one means whether 1 person looking after 1 person, or 1 to 3 means 1 person will look after 3 people. So this is the ratio of supports. And also social community and participation, that is another service which used type of service which people then take you out into the community, do activities, drawing, painting, swimming. They take the participant to movies, they take the participant to do their own activities, religious activities. So that is something comes under social community and participation supports. Then there are different types of NDIS, which I want to also mention. I've missed a point here, which is self-managed, plan-managed, and NDIA managed. So this is something very important for provider to understand and participant to also understand. Both people need to understand this. So self-managed is a participant which can handle his own funding and can connect with the provider or services he or she requires. That is self-managed. Plan managed is there are companies which called plan managers, who are basically the accountants within this industry, who look after your funds. So you have gone to ABC provider, and they will send the invoice to plan manager. The plan manager will receive that information, receive that invoice, they will confirm with the participant, and they will pay that invoice. Then the third is NDIA managed or agency managed. The NDIA managed is basically you can make a service booking in product, and then that service booking you can then upload your invoices, and those invoices get checked by NDIS, and then they pay you in 2 to 3 days. It takes 1 day, sometimes take 2 days, takes 3 days to get your invoices paid. So this is the 3 categories of plan managed, whether self-managed, plan managed, or those are the 3 categories. Another thing I just quickly want to mention that NDIS plan, when I mentioned about therapies, there are transport funding, there are support coordination funding in their plan. So their plan is made up of different kind of fundings. As a provider, because you want to become a provider, so as a provider you need to look into and understand the goals and things a participant needs and what funding they have provided. I'm not going to go into detail of why and how the detail of when the service is provided, But the thing I would like to mention about, because we are mentioning about business here as well, that if you know there is a lot of different plan have different participant have different plans, and in their plan there are different kind of services they are provided, or the plan have funded for. So if you look at and understand a plan, there are behavioral supports, there are core supports, there are transport support coordination, there are assistive mobility, then there is STA. All these cares, you can pick one or two or three or all of them. But a better business strategy would be you pick up a niche and you focus on it, you provide it with quality, you could provide it with compliance, you are compliant, then you will not face any issues. So that is my experience, and which is I've learned over the years, that if you are doing a quality job, then you will not face an issue. And lastly, I mentioned about if you need to become, if there are few questions can come, you can select as become in NDIS portal, you can become a plan manager, you can become a support coordinator, you can become, if you don't want to become a provider, you can become these other people. You can become a transport provider if you have a transport services which have got a mobility assistive technology built in, where people with disability or wheelchair bound. Now there is another thing, which language has been changed. So you can't say a person with the disability, say you are a wheelchair, so you need to be careful what language you use. You have to say you are a wheelchair bound or wheelchair user, rather than directly saying you're disabled. So you have to be careful now. So language is also something coming up in the last couple of years, so for us to use. And there are three things you can also get help as a family support members are sitting here. There is a website, whether you do a business or not, but a lot of help you can find for yourself, for your families regarding these things. One of them is Carers Gateway, which is, I will request you all to have a look into that. Carer Gateway, it not just helps NDIS people, it helps a lot of other people as well. And lastly, if you need help with NDIS, their number, you can call their number, and you can also, the call number is 1-800-800-110, or you can visit their website. Thank you very much for having me today. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
If anyone have any questions, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, I'll ask one question. Thank you very much for very, very informative presentation. A couple of things I would like to know, like say, for example, under NDIS, there are several services available, but some of our community members, they have only cleaning business. So still, were they eligible to apply, like in which thing? The second is like so many of our community members, they drive as a, like Uber. So can they also apply for transport services?
Yes.
The last question is that do they have to have a proper office, or can it be managed from home?
They can manage from home. The first thing I mentioned to you was when I talked about ABN. You can have your own ABN, and under that ABN you can provide those services. And unregistered provider, as unregistered provider, you can provide cleaning and transport and these kind of services. All you need to do is linked with the providers who have got participants in their companies. The list of the companies are available in NDIS website in that provider tool, and you will put in, if you type in NDIS provider portal, you will see you ask for local providers. So it will give you the list of all the providers across Australia. So you can contact them, the people who are in your area, you can talk to them.
Jazakallah. Thank you very much. Now I would like to invite Bhagya Livingston. She's a social counselor and she's in the industry since last over 20 years. Bhagya Livingston, please. And I also would like to request all participants, please feel free to ask questions relating to education, business, or any other opportunity, especially in community sector and the healthcare sector. Thank you very much.
First of all, let me thank Dr. Noor and the organization for giving me this opportunity to part of this event and talk about opportunities in the community sector. And congratulations as well for all the people who attended this important seminar to talk about the business opportunities, ethics and education that is much needed in this area. Let me introduce myself. I'm Bhagya Chettipalli, registered social worker with over 15 years of experience in the community sector. I'm currently heading New Covenant as the director, and New Covenant does a work in the areas of education, employment, and training, more specifically in the areas of traineeships and apprenticeships. My passion is to serve the community and continues as my role as a non-executive director at SafeMap Community Network. It's a non-profit organization. SafeMap does a lot of domestic violence support work. Today I'm here to talk about some of the opportunities that I would like to present in this sector. So let me talk about community services in the broad terms, what's happening. I would like to present some research and stats about it. Lately, community services has emerged as a profession and one of the top most being listed to attract the workforce in Australia. These range from aged care, disability, and community services. There is a huge skill shortage of workforce in these areas, and a lot of employers and businesses are looking for the staff. Recently, if you know the peak body, National Disability Services, referred that there is an estimated 213,000 workers will be required to be replaced by 2025. So look at how much sector needs, how many people they need to work in the sector. And also, according to National Seniors Australia, there will be a shortage of 110,000 direct care workers in aged care by 2030. So there is a lot of gaps in the shortage of skills, and the government is trying its best to close this workforce gap. And it's also really important to find the opportunities. I heard from some of the brothers sitting in this, they have explained really well how you can take the first step into entering the community service sector. You can volunteer, get yourself skilled with a certificate 3 in individual support. It could be a 6 months course to 1 year course, and also form of traineeship. Traineeship is a combination of on-the-job training, and also you can take up the qualification at the same time. It's like earning, also learning. So you're earning while learning, so which is a good option as well, so that you don't miss out on that. There are a lot of organizations looking to provide these opportunities. There are a lot of aged care facilities. There is also home support program where you can go into the aged care facilities and support them with kind of preparing meals, transport support, taking them to, doctor's appointment, and taking them to some leisure activities. All these forms, is a community support. So it's not a great thing, but it has to be compounded or covered with a bit of legislation, ethics, and also if you have a great passion and attitude, I think this is the profession you need. And I've seen a lot of changes coming through. A lot of people working in corporate sector, they have changed their minds and now moving to community sector. So the community sector is always have open heart, open hands to welcome anyone from any industry, and we need a lot of skills at different capacities to contribute. Due to the commercialization of NDIS, there is a lot of opportunities for even business to establish themselves that can care for the individual genuinely, and on the top of it can look after their compliance and be very passionate about caring. Look, the community services is there in our blood. We represent multiculturalism. So we care for our children, we care for our parents, we care for our brothers, we care for the people with disability, we care for our neighbors. So the caring attitude is already there. So it's only you have to explore those opportunities, what education opportunities you can take to further yourself and also serve the community. And also I would like to mention through SafeMap, it's a charity organization, and we have, it's an inception since 2014. We've been working a lot with migrants, refugees, a lot of women I particularly work with in terms of domestic violence, and I offer counseling services, immediate accident counseling, some emergency relief support that could be rendered in partnership with other organizations. It's really important to give an opportunity for them to explore in terms of either work, education, skilling themselves, and also because a woman can always, a well-educated woman and men in the family can always contribute to this society well. So I leave these comments briefly and I will leave it to you, but we would like to welcome all to enter this community service sector. Thank you so much. Do you have any questions?
Yeah.
You have any questions?
Thank you very much, Bhagya. I would like to encourage our participants to ask any questions to Bhagya. Oh, let me ask you one. You mentioned about traineeships. Can you please explain us more what is that traineeship means, who will be eligible, and you said that earning while learning. So is it possible if someone is not employed by that sector, still can they get into this traineeship thing, or they have to get a job first and then get into traineeship?
Look, it's always vis-a-vis. Sometimes you get a job. The employers usually, when they advertise on Seek, sometimes through job expos, they encourage people to come and see them, and you can get a job and study while you're working. So it's really important to be employed to be eligible for a traineeship. Sometimes the employer is happy to come to you and say that if you're happy to be a trainee, I'm happy to put you on the traineeship and then I'll employ you if they find the right person. So the basic eligibility criteria is that you have to be Australian permanent resident, a citizen, a refugee, or a New Zealand citizen who is living in Australia for over 6 months and has left the school. So this is basic eligibility criteria, and you have passion to work in the industry, and other things that you require before you commence the course or start your employment, either in especially in disability sector or NDIS. You have to have a working with children check and NDIS clearance check, and some industries like childcare and other sectors may require to have a working with children check. And through New Covenant, we also support a lot of candidates who are interested in securing traineeship roles. We are happy to promote you to the employers, and if you are prepared, to work in the industry, happy to present to them, and if they're happy, then you can explore further and always work, also learn. Yeah.
From where, because we have viewers from throughout Australia, and is there any website or place where they can go and find out the opportunity to become an apprentice or trainee?
Some of the work, there are a lot of websites that have been created by Essence. So there are like Skills Road, Career Gateway, My Career Gate. These are the websites where the positions are advertised. Sometimes you could look at even on Seek or you can look on Indeed. So you look for traineeship positions in aged care, traineeship positions in disability, traineeship positions in childcare, and also there are specific Facebook pages where the employers advertise directly, and they're directly interacting with the employees that are looking for opportunities or someone who's looking for work. So there are Facebook pages where you have to go, like traineeship and apprenticeships, New South Wales, traineeship and apprenticeship jobs in disability sector, aged care. If you type in these search words in Facebook, that will take you into those pages, and you can see that the employers are actually directly looking for people.
Thank you, Ajbhagya. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Now I'd like to invite our dear friend, Mr. Sultan Ahmed. He's an accountant. He's a director of AAAR Ability Assist. He'll be talking and explaining us about the job opportunities in community sector, especially in aged care and disability.
Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Dear President, respected audience, my presentation today is basically about job opportunities and also a business opportunity in NDIS. There is a lot of thing has been said and very rightly said, but I just want to see what is the need of NDIS. The reason for the NDIS was that to give a power to the client, the participant. That was the whole idea, that you as a participant decide who you will decide and who will you choose. And that was create a big competition in the market, because as a good service provider, if you satisfied your client and you continue to provide that quality service, you have that business. But the moment there is a market also created, that if someone else is coming to the market and is provide better service, then definitely that person or that organization will take it over. So there's always an opportunity in NDIS for new providers, because as you grow bigger, there's always a chance that you might not have the quality staff, as you might be segmenting on some certain areas. So that's why the NDIS business is a business where you always have opportunity. There is a challenge to become a provider, whether you are a registered provider or unregistered provider, but as soon as you be a part of that family, you will see the opportunity in the market. You have that passion to continue that work and provide that facility. I want to come more in, as we have spoken a lot of things about NDIS, there is another opportunity in the market which is called aged care. Aged care sector is also a sector where the range of services and support provided to elderly individual, often those who are no longer able to live independently or require assistance due to aging related conditions. And that is the sector also immensely growing in Australia, as we experiencing an aging population, and the government is also very concerned about that, how they're encouraging the old, I can say, the senior. I'm also the part of that family. So they are encouraging that senior people to live longer at their home. For that purpose, the aged care industry is also growing. And we see that there is a lot of demand on that area and a lot of shortage of workers and a quality aged care providers. To become an aged care provider, there is always more compliance and rigorous checks are required as compared to a national disability insurance provider. Because for that purpose, you have further scrutinies and there is a lot of challenges. But once you become an aged care provider, that will give you more opportunity in the market, and that will provide you more sort of business opportunity and to promote your business. Now going to the next slide, which is about job opportunities. Now, we have spoken about all the job opportunity, but I want to share you one more very booming area of job opportunity. It's called as an independent contractor in NDIS. There's a lot of gig companies, the companies who are actually engage you as a service, as a NDS service provider, and they are the provider, and you just work for them under their ABN arrangement. That will give you more opportunity to work as an independent provider, directly linked with the client, but you basically make sure that your relationship with the client is or participant will be very strong, and all the compliance issue will be taken over by this gig company. The government is encouraging that sort of sector, which provide you the entrepreneur opportunities to the people or emerging people. They want to work as an NDS provider, but they can't afford or they can't basically able to become a registered NDS provider. So they can use that platform, which is another exciting platform where you can basically work. You just need to get your ABN number, your basically a police check, all other NDS formalities, and then you need to go and basically choose that gig or just this online service provider, and then then you find your client. Once you find your client, you can always go back to that NDS service provider and say, look, I have that client, and they will also advertise you on the top of just like a different platforms, and you can basically enhance your own individual brand or individual personality as a NDS service participant or as an employee, and that will give you a very good opportunity to get into the market. Go to the next slide. That basically conclude my presentation because of I want to go back to that another point which is very important, that care in the NDS industry and aged care is experiencing a very large growth, and that growth will be continue in the future because of the government and also the interest of the business group. Working in this sector offer you not only job security but also deep personal and professional reward, and that was we are here today. We as Ahmadiyya community and overall, we passionate about looking after our responsibility and people, and that work will really give you a great reward, that you look after someone who's vulnerable, who needs your help, who actually has no ability to do anything or is very minimum participation in the society, and you as a worker, as a provider or as a facilitator, help them out, show that passion. So I remember that one of the persons says, this is a godly work, the work which God has given to him, because he is not only get paid for that, but he's also helping someone out who's really need your help. And that was basically help you out. That's really help you to basically continue that passion which we are here for, which is love for Lord, hatred for none. That passion which has the Jamaat has driven to us in our DNA, that we help people, we help out those who are really help, and being a part of that community, that really give you a opportunity to work in this industry. That industry also required a lot of passionate people, and I will encourage you to be part of that industry, as all the participants and also especially the speakers listen the different pathway to part of that industry, being as an entrepreneur, you really be rewarded, not only because you have a business, but you doing something which is exceptional. It's not that only the business drive you for that work, it's your passion. Also, that you're answerable to someone, you're answerable to the God. And these things really make difference in the life. And as someone has mentioned, that this service industry required a lot of passionate people and also required people who really care about others. And I think so that forum, as that forum which we are today, is the best forum that if we continue and looking forward to get some sort of way to be part of that industry, that will help. So thank you very much once again, Dr. Noor Aftab, Secretary of Sanat-O-Tijarat, all other participants, to give us opportunity to basically discuss these things and find it out the way, that there's different ways to be a part of that great industry. I'd just like to play that our organization please. I just want to play that our logo of our organization, and we show that passion about that work, and we need your praise and your help, and basically so that we can continue to do that great work for our community and our country.
No.
Okay, I'll ask one question. You mentioned in your presentation that there is an opportunity to tie up with other service providers. If someone doesn't want to take that responsibility or don't want to get into the complexity of that registration, so how they can work with them, but not as an employee, but as a business.
Thank you, Dr. Noor. That's a great question. And I think so there's a different model. That was, I was trying to mention that in my presentation. There's a model where actually you can work as an ABN holder. So when you have an ABN, so basically you got ABN and also you got Certificate 3 in disability. And then what you need to do, you need to basically have, there is a lot of online service providers who are engaging you with the person who's seeking a service. And then once you will basically agree with that person who's hiring you, then that online organization will basically give you all the authentication and all the authority to work with them. But they are responsible to NDIS, and you are basically answerable to that individual client. And that was sort of a relationship which will build with your individual level as a business owner. And I think so that is a great start to build your business. So you have that flavor that you work with someone who is seeking your service, and then you know that if you don't provide a good service to that person will leave. So that sort of a modeling in recently has been introduced previously, but recently government is encouraging, especially NDS, and encouraging that sort of modeling, which really encouraging enterprise in the market, and that will really help to get more quality worker, and they get more rewarded also. They get paid much more better than basically as your employee or as your casual worker. The second part of that part is question is, you can also have a franchisee. That franchise and franchisee model is also available. That where actually you just take a franchise and franchisor take all the responsibility of the compliance work, and you just do the normal, basically a service work, and then basically you will share that sort of income, which is much more higher than basically as an employee or as a care worker.
Okay. And what is the job opportunities? I know that Bhagya mentioned that there are plenty of jobs. But so for example, if someone completed the certificate 3 in aging support or individual support, then while they are studying, can they get the job, or they have to complete the course and get into the workforce?
So, thank you, Dr. Once again, the minimum qualification is certificate 3. Once you've done the certificate 3, you need 3 checks: police clearance check, NDIS worker check. And once you've done these all 3 checks and all the clear, you can work as a support worker. So the support worker minimum qualification is certificate 3 in community service or aged care. Once you have done that and all the other criteria which I mentioned in NDS clearance check, you can work. It's a rewarding work. The minimum wage at the moment in the market is $32.35, which is, I think, so the highest in the market of certificate 3. If I can see that, and that can be in a weekend is a much more higher rate, and on a night time is a different rate. And as brother mentioned, that you can choose your work. You can choose if you want to work on a night time, a morning time, afternoon time, or weekend. Because these opportunities, because of the lack of shortage of worker, and the second part which I will mention, that if you're a quality worker, the company don't want to leave you. So they always respect you. They always want you to accommodate you, because end of the day, you are carrying the flag of this company. So if you're a good care worker or you're a passionate worker, as an employer, I'm actually very concerned if you're going to leave to me. So that's why it's very important that once you do that job, you do with a passion, with a commitment. And I think so there is no boundaries in this industry. There's a lot of scope. As I mentioned, it's a $52 billion industry only in NDIS, and aged care is a different part. So that's a very massive industry, and there's a lot of shortage of workers. And another thing which I want to say, add on to it, there is no age barrier also. There is some industry where they require only young people, but that is an industry where they don't need an age factor, because if you're good, you're passionate, and a senior person, no problem. And that will really give you the boost in your life and also give you a lot of confidence.
Couple of questions. One question is that how can we work as independent contractors?
Okay, going back to details, what I'll say to you that there is a lot of online service provider where they can basically provide you, if you search as an independent worker, you can see, and basically they can, you just sign up with them as online, and you provide your profile, and they put your profile on their website. And then if someone is seeking for that person, they can connect you directly, or you can find a support, you can find a participant who's looking for that support, and then you can tell that organization, the online organization that you want to be, you have a client, and they can basically connect with you and do all the paperwork for you.
Thank you, Mitch. Another question, can you share some online links where you can start individual with ABN? I would like to request all of you to please visit our department website, which is sotaus.com.au. So inshallah, we'll be putting all the links relating to the community sector jobs and any other jobs as well. And I also request if Bhagya Livingston can share some links, as you mentioned in your speech, that people can go and find the jobs. And one question for Wakhar Saab. I know that you do have the online business promotions as well. If someone register a business in NDIS, how your organization or any organization can support, or from where they can get the clients? Can you give me a mic, please? Mic. Where's the mic?
Mic. Just play it.
Jazakallah for the question. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. What we do as a social media digital company, we provide platforms. We work with social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, and website development, content writing. What we do, we market we create a strategy to market your business in the industry to the people who need help, most needed help. We connect you with areas like government-funded organizations, so you can get connected with those people and participate directly, business to business as well as participant to the business. So we have our team who market you at whether it's a Google ad, whether it's a YouTube, whether developing a video and promoting your business online. So in that, we create some leaflets, banners, posters, and slides for your business to be published in Facebook and other platforms. So it's a continuous based, and also we do SEO, which is search engine optimization of your website. So these are the services we provide to promote business for your any of the members here who are interested. I'm happy to share more information. Thank you.
Yeah, yes. Thank you very much once again, and I'm looking forward for you guys to learn a lot from that. And thank you very much once again for Sanat-O-Tijarat to give us a great opportunity to discuss all these things. Thank you.
Thank you. Very calm. Sure.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. My dear brothers and my dear sisters, honorable guests, thank you very much for inviting me. Nice meeting with you. And Dr. Noor Saab, thank you so much for having this seminar first time in our community's history. The first correction, I would like to request you, the word Sanat-O-Tijarat is your department, but this is Arabic name or Urdu or Hindi. It should be translated in English, so the other can understand what Sanat and Tijarat means. I hope it is easy for us. And those who do not understand Hindi or Urdu or Arabic, they will see, what is this? So that was the first, it really bothered me. Thank you so much, and I wish the attendance should be improved in the future. We must contact the youth organizations who are working for others, wasting their life and wasting their time. This is the high time that we should give them a proper guidance. First of all, I would like to say that my family background is also business. From the very childhood, we learned a business, and I have seen the prosperity. Before I go further, I can tell you that I am sitting before those who are the businessman or maybe very rich guy, and I am a poor person. Although my title is Amir, Amir means very rich, right? But I can tell you what is the religious backgrounds. What religious gives us guidance in this respect? Which field we should adopt it? Where the prosperity is? I will go back in the history, and then you will come to know that whatever we are doing it, whatever his department is, this is the future. If you are looking for a good future, then you must go whatever the directions are going to give it to you. Most of the time we are talking about the religious leaders like Moses. At that time, the missionary work was extraordinary. And this work which has been done, it is historic. When you go to Egypt, when you see the pyramids and all stuff, even today, it is like a puzzle. We don't know how they built it and how it was done, right? Without using any cranes or anything like that. But if you go and you enjoy all that stuff, you will come to that. Now looking at Jesus, his father, so-called father, Joseph, to whom Mary actually married, was a carpenter. So maybe that is another profession, one can go for it. Looking at the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he was a businessman, right? And Imam of the age, where we are now, he was a farmer. And that was predicted by the Holy Prophet Muhammad. He will be a Haris, a farmer. Two departments in the world, business. I've been in USA for 34 years. And I spent almost 14 years in New York, where there were 4+ million Jewish members. And I have seen prosperity is there. Where I was living, they were 90% were the Jewish people. And I have seen them excellent people as living in the neighborhood is concerned. They never bothered us for anything. I have seen them walk very dignified ways, very calm and cool, giving always prefer to the Muslims on all others. This is what I have, my personal experiences. Because they believe, that Muslims work very hard and they are honest and many other qualities. But prosperity is there. You can imagine that those who are 4 million have the economy of the whole world with them. Do you know the stock exchange? Do you remember 84? It was only 2 hours when the stock price went down. And I know that just in New York, there were 24 businessmen who committed suicide because all their business, everything was gone. But on the other hand, they say every day in San Jose, which is Silicon Valley, one person becomes millionaire. It is because business. I'm just telling you that why we should go for business. I have seen myself that a businessman can make money which a person who is working for someone will not be able to make in all his lifetime. A businessman can make it in one day, maybe in one night. I can prove it if you like it. So this is what we are all about. Our second caliph, may Allah be pleased with him, emphasized that we must go for business. There's one hadith, tradition of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. In a very small sentence, he emphasized that we should go for business. He says, Al-yadul ulya khairun min al-yadis sufla. That the upper hand is better than the hand which is lower. Mean, if you are employee and you are getting business for the others, job for the others, your hand is upper. And those who are looking for job, their hands are lower. And I can tell you, like some people are in the real estate, I don't want to mention anyone's name, but there are some members of my community who doing beside job, whatever, they do some business as the real estate is concerned. Yearly salary, maybe it is $70,000 to $80,000. But they make 700,000 plus in 2 years' time, which is almost 5 times what they do for job, right? They go every day and come back, it's a lot of tensions and all stuff. But once they buy a house and they sell it after 2 years, they make $700,000 to $800,000 easily. So what I'm saying is, try your best to go for a job. I was raised in a Hindu community. There were 40% Hindus and 60% Muslims. We were just like brothers and sisters, just like a family. And I have seen from the very childhood, they teach them to go for business. They never go for any job at all. This is exactly what I have seen back in New York. If you go to New York, you will see the whole business in New York City. There are 2 nations holding that, a Jewish community and Hindu community, along with the Sikh. All businesses, all stores which have a billions of dollars business, they are the one who are running it. But unfortunately, those who are others, they are working for $4.30 filling the gas. They never thought, what to do. And I have seen those who have changed, their lifestyle. They went to the business, immediately they prosper. I have seen one person who came from Germany. I got him a job actually. I'm telling you, the personal stories. He got a job for $4.30, filling the gas. Now he has 4 or 5 businesses because he did not stay with that one. He thought that I must go for business. Famous Mansoor bookstore. If you Google, you can find there are 3 or 4 major businesses in New Jersey. Same is the case in New York too. Those who have changed their style, they done something, business, they prosper. Let me give you another example of one who was in Ghana. 2 years ago he passed away, Yusuf Edusai. He was a poor missionary taking care of the mosque. He invented one cream which is good for the ladies. He introduced in Ghana and he became millionaire. Just one. This is what the sanat is. Industry, to invent something, to have new thing and then go for. I can give you many examples, but at this time I think we must get our youth involved and we must change their lifestyle. We must change their thinking actually. It is very unfortunate back in USA and in Australia. In USA I have seen they prefer go for the cab driving. And all their life they were cab drivers. They never changed their like a job or business. Never. And they stayed wherever they were. Here people go for security. And I can tell you, like in New York, there are more than 200 taxi drivers belong to our community. In Calgary, 700. Just imagine. They are wasting their life. They are born once only in this world. They are not going to come back again. Not in this world, maybe somewhere else. We must understand the value of our time. It's very precious. We must do something to prosper in this very world, rather than going for these small jobs like Uber and all stuff, which is easy. What you do, you drive 2-3 hours and then you sleep all day, resting. There was one person I know very well. He was in New York. What he does, he drives a cab, yellow cab, and he was driving 2-3 hours. Then he goes to home, and then he is sleeping. Oh, I made my day. Whatever I made it, $100 is good enough for me. This is not the life. Life is given only once. You should take full advantage and go whatever is the best for you. And I can tell you, the economy of the whole world is in one nation's hand. That is the Jewish community, because they are very much involved in business. Then those, number 2, now the 4th or 5th economy of India. Now think about it. India and Pakistan both, were split. Look where Pakistan is and look at the India. It has become 5th economy of the world. And I have just visited, like 6 months ago. I can see it. It is tremendous progress which has been made in India. It is because of business. And all our people get involved in business in one way or the other way. If they work for some time somewhere just to learn something for education purpose, once they learn, they immediately go outside and they have their own business. They open it. So what I humbly request you, go for two areas. Purchase the farmlands as much as you can. The price of the farm and the land will never go down. You will make money. That I assure you. You will never lose. Same is the case as business is concerned. If you are really smart and you have in your mind that the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was a businessman, let's go what he did it. He set a good example for us. Be very honest, be very hard worker, and ponder over your jobs and business. You will prosper in this world. Rather than working for someone, people will be working for you. A great change. You will be the boss. Here, I can tell you, I can give you bad example too. There was someone who was working in the Ford company for 25 years. He was our national secretary. One day he was very sad. I said, what happened, Malik Saab? He said, this morning, when I went to my office, I saw the director is on my door. I said, oh my God, it's terrible. Why he's standing there? He knew what it means. So when he reached there, he says, thank you so much, Malik Saab. You can go home. 25 years he was working for the Ford company. And they don't let you go inside the office. You know that, right? They just say, thank you so much, sir. You can go home. And after 25 years, he was fired without any reason. And I can tell you that if you have your own business, you will prosper. I assure you. Because your intentions are that you are following the direction of your beloved Imam. Looking at your intentions, there will be prosperity and you will see. And of course you can see, you can Google and you can check everywhere. Whosoever is involved in business really prospered. And prosperity is assured. So I humbly request all youth who are here, those who have not attended this seminar, they must attend this seminar again. This was the first seminar ever, has been arranged by Dr. Noor Aftab Sahib. Thank you so much. God bless you. God reward you the best. It is really a great, you would say, help for the humanity, for the community as well, for the others as well. If one of them learn, whatever you have taught them today, their life is going to be changed. I have seen, giving you another example. I was in Boston. One member who was working for security. There was like a group of 15 or 20 people. There was one person in charge, and they put them in different areas. He thought that why not I should be the supervisor. What he did, he opened a company. And he hired, 15 or 20 people, trained them as a security. Then he became a big boss. And I have seen myself that he became millionaire. I'm just telling you, try your best to change your job into business. Go for some industry. Open, something that, is beneficial for the world. And you will see that you will be very good. And financially you will be you will prosper, and I assure you. Thank you so much for all of you. Maybe few words. I have given you some advice, some examples, and I'm sure that you can change your lifestyle, you can change your business, and I'm sure that it will change your life as well. Thank you so much, all of you.
I would like to invite Councillor Livingston to
Most
say a
welcome.
few words.
He should have before me.
It's an immense pleasure to be here. After Imam Saab's speech, there's nothing much I can share. You always make me feel warmth, and you bring that essence, the kind of wisdom, the knowledge that you carry, Imam Saab. I'm so delighted to be here and learn many things about today's, the very seminar, Sanat-O-Tijarat. I just learned it is industry and commerce. Yes, Australia is a lucky country. Every one of us have an opportunity to trade, build our businesses and commerce. I've got few things which stuck my mind. It is whatever you do, the business, you do it with passion. Do not be ashamed of any business that comes to your door. Do not reject it, because there is a purpose. Maybe God has sent an opportunity for you. Don't ever say, I don't want to pick up a plumbing business. Today, plumbers are the richest people. I'm sure you all agree in that.
Yes.
But sometimes we are ashamed, we say, oh, that's not my job. But that is an opportunity for us to make money. The other thing is that I always tell my friends and relatives, whatever you do, do it ethically. What is haram is haram. We don't want to cheat people. We want to do ethically, because God is giving us that wisdom to do the right things at the right time. And there are plenty of opportunities. Imam Saab has mentioned many such stories where people have been successful in their businesses. They have become rich enough. Today we have Dr. Noor as one of the examples. In few years' time, from where to where. And not only that, as he was growing, he's taking along friends. He's also making others also to imbibe that entrepreneur skills so that they can also grow. And thank you, Dr. Noor, with Humanity First, what you are doing. You are doing a lot of things, that really helps us to understand. It's not just building our resources, becoming richer, we are also sharing. That's what our prophets and God taught us. And let us continue that, and let us grow together. If you want any kind of help in terms of establishing a business in this region, on behalf of the council, I'm here to help you. Livingston Chettipalli, your local councillor for Blacktown City. Thank you.
Thank you so much. There was a member of our community in Seattle, Washington. He had one taxi. Then he started his own business. And I met him, he said he had 113 taxis. So almost 1/3 taxis in Seattle, Washington, right? If Dr. Noor Saab don't mind it, he mentioned to me, he is a very humble person. He showed me that area when he was working as a security, and he was holding half-kilo keys of different stores with a torch, looking at the logs or everything is okay. He said that was the time, and now God has changed because business, right? So he changed his job into business, and prosperity is there. So I'm just telling you, this is the incentive. I wanted to discuss, but I thought I must discuss with you. Prosperity is waiting for you. Change your style. Whatever are you doing? Except for you, one person in Los Angeles, he was like a doctor like you. He took one equipment, I don't know what it was. He started doing the business. That business was all over in USA and then in South America. He became millionaire. So I'm just telling you, before he was working for someone, now many people are working for him now. This is the difference you must understand. And I'm sure that if you look into it, there are some doors and means for you. You must go for it. Otherwise, just hand to mouth, right, paying the mortgage and rent. Now looking at the situation, the rate is very high of the mortgage and how terrible people are in situation this time actually. But on the other hand, businessmen are very peaceful, isn't it? वो उतनी कीमतें बढ़ा देते हैं अल्लाह अल्लाह खैर सला क्यों जी हमारी तनख्वाह तो बढ़ाई नहीं ठीक है Thank you so much. God bless you all. I think there is some refreshment or lunch also.
Yes, sir.
It is there. Huh? Okay, good. It is our tradition that we, at the end, we make some prayer. Prayer will be that, oh God, make, prosperity for us. Give us the job. Give us the way, the path, which is good for us, which will be for our families, for our community, and for our country as well. I can tell you, the world is being actually controlled by the economy. Those who are the economists, they can change the whole world in few hours. This is what I told you. I've given you example of 1984 when the stock price went down just for 2 hours and many were totally destroyed. And of course, there were 24 people in New York City committed suicide. But on the business, prosperity is there. Try your best to find out some business somewhere. Then you will be sitting at the desk as a boss, and many people will be working for you. All you have to do is to supervise and check everything is okay. Then your hand will be upper, and people will be, taking benefit of you. And I can tell you, there are some people, I have met them, उन्होंने कहा कि मैं इसलिए ये बिजनेस खोला है ताकि लोगों को जॉब मिले. His niyat was, his intentions were very good. He said, I do have the business so I can give job to the others. That's my purpose of my jobs. So have, something good intentions, and I'm sure that God will help you. Okay, thank you so much. Now we raise our hands. You can pray whatever. Pray for yourself. Pray for the country. Pray for your community, for your family. Especially in these days, we are in terrible situation. We pray for the humanity as well. Please join me in silent prayer. Amen. Thank you so much. So there is a refreshment. Whatever. Make the announcement.